The Joker is known for being bold, colorful, and dramatic. But there's at least one area of his life that is totally in the darkness: where he came from and who he was before he turned into Batman's greatest enemy. The Joker has many secrets despite almost 80 years of appearances. Hey there, you are watching Unlimited Movies, your unlimited source of everything cinema. In today's episode, we'll be discussing 10 secrets about the Joker's origins. Oh, but before we dive into the video, make sure you subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this one, and smash the like button too. So without any further ado, let's dive right into the video, shall we? The Joker is undoubtedly one of the most iconic and well-received fictional villains of all time. We all love the live-action versions of the Joker, played by Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, and even Joaquin Phoenix throughout the years. But the origin story of this clown prince of crime is still a mystery, which leads to so many origin theories of the Joker floating around. The Joker is a supervillain that originates from the DC Comics. His first appearance was on April 25, 1940, in the Batman comic books. Originally, the Joker would have been killed in his initial appearance, but he ended up becoming the archenemy of Batman. He was created by the late Bill Finger, the late Bob Kane, and the late Jerry Robinson. Now, chances are, we may never know the true origin of the Joker, but we know you are curious to unravel the mysteries behind the origin of the clown prince of crime. Let us unravel them one by one, shall we? Number 10, the failed comedian. This particular origin story discusses how an ordinary man can turn into the hysterical clown that we all know. The heartbreaking story in The Killing Joke presents the notion that the future Joker was once an engineer at a Gotham chemical plant who decided to quit his job and follow his lifelong dream of becoming a stand-up comic. Unfortunately, his passion only gets him so far. No one laughs at his jokes, and his new career as a comedian is a financial failure. In order to provide for his pregnant wife, the failed comedian agrees to be part of a low-rent criminal gang who want him to help them break into the same chemical plant at which he once worked. In order to protect his identity, they give him a dome-shaped red helmet to wear so that he can pretend to be their leader, the infamous Red Hood. In actuality, the Red Hood is a patsy, and the gang uses this disguise in order to keep attention off their own backs if they get caught. Number 9, the Butler. This wild twist was presented in Neil Gaiman's Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader, a comic specifically written to be the last Batman comic, thus not in continuity. Still, it's one of the most interesting takes out there. This particular origin story originates just after the death of Bruce Wayne's parents. With his parents' death, depression overtook Bruce Wayne for a long time, until he found a new motivation for living in fighting crime as Batman. However, there was often no crime for Batman to stop, leading to Bruce becoming depressed again. In an effort to keep Bruce happy, Alfred contacted some of his old theater buddies and enlisted them to dress up as supervillains for Batman to save people from. But Alfred saved the best role for himself, the role of Batman's ultimate nemesis, the Joker. But it's worth noting that in the narration, Bruce himself doesn't feel that the story is realistic. Nonetheless, it's certainly one of the more unique Joker origins out there. Number 8, Thomas Jr. This theory suggests that the Joker is none other than Bruce's long-lost brother, Thomas Wayne Jr. Thomas Wayne Jr. is rumored to be the firstborn son who was stolen at a very young age and spent much of his early life suffering from mental health issues as a result of his brain injury. He could be kidnapped and locked up somewhere due to his mental health condition. One argument is that the Caped Crusader actually knows Joker's true identity subconsciously, and that's why he's never allowed the Joker to die. Some have even suggested that there are hints of this theory sprinkled into The Dark Knight, where Joker so lovingly speaks of the parallels between him and Batman. Number 7, 3 Jokers. This can be interpreted in many ways. It could be 3 different Jokers, 3 different versions of the same person from an alternate reality, or even dissociative identity disorder. The first Joker would be the insane Joker, who wants to cause chaos and destruction. It doesn't matter if he destroys all the banks in Gotham or kills Batman in the process, he just wants something to blow up. The second one is the one who thinks Batman and the Joker cannot exist without each other. So he seeks to preserve each other, just like Heath Ledger's take on the Joker is in The Dark Knight. The third one is the power-hungry Joker who feeds on power and money. Altogether, they are the Joker. Together, they make the one clown prince of crime. Number 6. Those scars. Ledger's Joker was a living embodiment of chaos, a philosophical serial killer who is every bit Batman's equal. And like the comic book character before him, this Joker came out of nowhere, but liked teasing his victims with false stories about his identity. Wanna know how I got these scars? In the movie The Dark Knight, the Joker offers at least 2 explanations, both of which may be false. The Joker talks about his wife, whose face was cut out by loan sharks in the first one. In order to make her happy, he cut his own cheeks too. The other one describes a story about his father, whom he calls a drinker, whose knife is the reason behind the scars on his face. Number 5. War veteran. The Joker may have been a war veteran with PTSD, which explains his comfort and access to all that military-grade weaponry. Most of the theory is attributed to his knowledge of explosives, firearms, and combat. Furthermore, it also seems like a very likely explanation for his scars. If we dig deeper, his speech to Harvey Dent has subtle clues that implicate the system for being unjust towards soldiers. This clearly indicates he feels a soldier's life is undervalued, and he feels it even closely because he has experienced it himself. He is very explicit in expressing his aversion towards the normalization of battle casualties, and in fact, is causing him to resist by creating chaos in society. Number 4. Leader of the Red Hood Gang. While there are many tales about how the Joker came to be, there are 2 story elements that repeat themselves quite often. First, there's the often failed heist leading to an unintended chemical bath. Second, there's the Red Hood, or the Red Hood to be exact. Red Hood is a brilliant criminal mastermind who also happens to be the leader of the Red Hood Gang. The turning point occurs when the Red Hood Gang attempts to rob a chemical plant, and Batman intercepts them. Desperate to avoid capture, the gang's leader leaps into a vat of chemicals and then is seemingly burned alive. In actuality, the chemical vat contains a drainage pipe that empties into the river, and the unnamed leader washes up on the shoreline. There he discovers that his skin has been stripped of all pigmentation. His lips are red, his hair is green, and his cheeks have been warped into a permanent smile. Number 3. Questionable insanity. What if we told you that the Joker is perfectly fine with his mental state, and his insanity was just an act? Mind-blowing, right? The Joker's cunning brilliance, sharp reflexes, and knowledge of the criminal underworld couldn't have come from nowhere. It would seem more likely that he had some serious experience in Gotham's mob scene, and perhaps could have even been a major player behind the scenes. The Joker would have had a tendency to constantly use new names and new identities, always slipping under the radar as he overthrows major crime bosses and takes over their territory. The decision to become the Red Hood here was not out of desperation, but for the thrill of it. This nameless crime boss had grown tired of being so powerful and wanted to have reckless fun like in the old days. Number 2. Aunt Eunice. One of the many Joker origin secrets, this one is the most horrifying. In this possible origin, there is no chemical bath, no factory, no Red Hood. Here, the Joker's problems begin in childhood. As a little boy, he is raised by his Aunt Eunice, an abusive sociopath. The two of them live in a rundown apartment where he is regularly starved, beaten, and screamed at. Aunt Eunice frequently washed the boy down with bleach until his skin eventually became white. This Aunt Eunice story offers a different explanation for the Joker's strange appearance, as well as his twisted mental state. Number 1. Immortal Demon. The Joker. As it turns out, the clown prince of crime is actually immortal. One of the most out there theories regarding the Joker's origins is that he may be older than Gotham City itself. The Endgame storyline proposes that countless inhabitants have fallen prey to a terrifying white demon called the Pale Man of Gotham City throughout Gotham's history. The Joker is one of 3 people who have come in contact with this mysterious meteorite that fell to Earth. The meteorite's mysterious radiation is what gave Vandal Savage his immortality. And apparently, Ra's al Ghul has been actually bathing in a corrupted form of the chemical from the meteorite. This leads to the shocking revelation that the Joker has also encountered the meteorite long before Gotham ever existed. If the Joker is the Pale Man, then it means he's been pretending to be a regular human being all along, merely for the sake of toying with Batman. With that, we've come to the end of the video. What other crazy origin stories of the Clown Prince of Crime did we miss? Let us know in the comments section below. Until then, catch you all in the next one.